Buongiorno a tutti, colleghi e studenti del Liceo Classico e Musicale Cavour. Ho scelto per voi un passo tratto da Robinson Crusoe di Daniel Defoe, perché ritengo che l'esperienza che abbiamo vissuto e stiamo vivendo di questa reclusione forzata ci porti a riflettere su alcuni temi che sono gli stessi sui quali il protagonista riflette nel suo periodo di isolamento in questa isola deserta dopo il naufragio. La storia di Robinson Crusoe penso sia nota ai più. Quindi ho scelto un passo che delinea quali sono i movimenti del pensiero del protagonista, che parla in prima persona, dopo aver osservato e visto sulla sabbia un'orma umana. Quindi quali sono i movimenti del pensiero che questo ritrovamento suscita nel protagonista e alcune frasi, alcune citazioni che penso che siano molto importanti collegate al periodo che stiamo vivendo e su quelle magari ci soffermeremo in maniera un po' più approfondita. It happened one day about noon, going towards my boat, I was exceedingly surprised with the print of a man's naked foot on the shore, which was very plain to be seen in the sand. I stood like one thunderstruck, or as if I had seen an apparition. I listened, I looked round me, I could hear nothing nor see anything. I went up to a rising ground to look farther. I went up to the shore and down the shore, but it was all one. I could see no other impression but that one. I went to it again to see if there were any more, and to observe if it might not be my fancy. But there was no room for that, for there was exactly the very print of a foot, toes, heel, and every part of a foot. How it came thither I knew not, nor could in the least imagine. I slept none that night. The farther I was from the occasion of my fright, the greater my apprehensions were, which is something contrary to the nature of such things, and especially to the usual practice of all creatures in fear. But I was so embarrassed with my own frightful ideas of the things, that I formed nothing but dismal imaginations to myself, even though I was now a great way off it. Sometimes I fancied it must be the devil, and reason joined in with me upon this supposition. For how should any other thing in human shape come into the place? Where was the vessel that brought them? What marks was there of any other footsteps? And how was it possible a man should come there? But then to think that Satan should take human shape upon him in such a place, where there could be no manner of occasion for it, but to leave the print of his foot behind him, and even for no purpose too, for he could not be sure I should see it, this was an amusement the other way. I considered that the devil might have found out abundance of other ways to have terrified me than these of the single print of a foot. Abundance of such things as these assisted to argue out of all apprehensions of its being the devil. And I presently concluded then that it must be some more dangerous creature, that it must be some of the savages of the mainland over against me, who had wandered out to sea in their canoes, and either driven by the currents or by contrary winds, had made the island, and had been on shore, but were gone away again to sea, being as loath, perhaps, to have stayed in this desolate island as I would have been to have had them. Quindi in questa prima parte Robinson Crusoe pensa addirittura che possa essere il diavolo che abbia assunto sembianze umane, ma ragionando ovviamente pensa che ciò non può essere vero, ma ovviamente è la paura il sentimento che pervade il suo pensiero e il suo animo. How strange a Quaker work of providence is the life of a man, and by what secret different springs are the affections hurried about, as different circumstances present. Today we love what tomorrow we hate. Today we seek what tomorrow we shun. Today we desire what tomorrow we fear, nay, even tremble at the apprehensions of. This was exemplified in me at this time in the most lively manner imaginable. Oggi amiamo ciò che domani odieremo. Oggi desideriamo ciò di cui domani avremo paura. I reflected then that God was not only righteous but omnipotent, as he had thought fit thus to punish and afflict me, so he was able to deliver me. That if he did not think fit to do it, 'twas my unquestioned duty to resign myself absolutely and entirely to his will. And on the other hand, it was my duty also to hope in him, pray to him, and quietly to attend the dictates and directions of his daily providence. Ovviamente, più volte nel corso del romanzo il protagonista si rifà alla preghiera, alla presenza di Dio, al fatto che debba credere e sperare nella provvidenza e nella sua presenza. Ma andiamo alla citazione che forse più rappresenta il periodo sulla quale vorrei ci soffermassimo. Oh, what ridiculous resolutions men take when possessed with fear! It deprives them of the use of those means which reason offers for their relief. The first thing I proposed to myself was to throw down my enclosures and turn all my tame cattle wild into the woods, that the enemy might not find them, and then frequent the island in prospect of the same or the like booty. Then to the simple thing of digging up my 2 cornfields, that they might not find such a grain there, and still be prompted to frequent the island. Then to demolish my bower and tent, that they might not see any vestiges of habitation, and be prompt to look further in order to find out the persons inhabiting. These were the subject of the first night cogitation, after I was come home again, while the apprehensions which had so overrun my mind were fresh upon me, and my head was full of vapours, as above. Thus, fear of danger is 10,000 times more terrifying than danger itself, when apparent to the eyes. And we find the burden of anxiety greater by much than the evil which we are anxious about, and which was worse than all this. I had not that relief in this trouble from the resignation I used to practice, that I hoped to have. I thought like Saul, who complained not only the Philistines were upon him, but that God had forsaken him. For I did not take due ways to compose my mind, by crying to God in my distress, and resting upon his providence, as I had done before, for my defence and deliverance, which if I had done, I had at least been more cheerfully supported under this new surprise, and perhaps carried through it with more resolution. This confusion of my thoughts kept me waking all night, but in the morning I fell asleep, and having, by the amusement of my mind, been, as it were, tired, and my spirits exhausted, I slept very soundly, and waked much better composed than I had ever been before. And now I began to think sadly, and upon the utmost debate with myself, I concluded that this island, which was so exceeding pleasant, fruitful, and no farther from the mainland than as I had seen, was not so entirely abandoned as I might imagine. That although there were no stated inhabitants who lived on the spot, yet that there might sometimes come boats off from the shore, who either with design or perhaps never, but when they were driven by cross winds, might come to this place. La citazione forse più importante da sottolineare è proprio questa: la paura del pericolo è 10.000 volte più terrificante del pericolo stesso quando appare agli occhi. Quindi un messaggio importante, il messaggio che la paura del pericolo è addirittura più terrificante del pericolo stesso, quindi un messaggio importante in questo periodo di pandemia. Non dobbiamo lasciarci sopraffare dalla paura e dobbiamo quasi pensare che questo periodo di quarantena sia un periodo in cui riscoprirci, in cui ritrovarci, proprio come conclude il passo lo stesso Robinson Crusoe, dove ritiene che l'isola sia addirittura estremamente piacevole, piena di frutti, una terra non così desolata come all'inizio pensava fosse, ma probabilmente abitata anche da altri esteri, quindi anche il luogo che noi riteniamo completamente solitario e quindi del quale dobbiamo avere paura, può diventare per noi un luogo sicuro. Nella speranza di vederci presto, una buona giornata a tutti quanti.